G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. A bit of an interesting one for this video. Traxxas has released some new parts with the new X-Maxx, and of course the X-Maxx is one of my favourite cars. They've released new front and back hubs, or hub carriers, whatever you want to call, with oversized bearings. This is the new one. It actually runs the same bearing as the RPM rear hubs. This is the original. You can see the difference in the bearing sizes. It's not so much that these are actually like weaker, but these little tiny bearings, they actually they blow out because they're only small, and they get put under a hell of a lot of load, especially in the rear. Now I've bought the RPM ones, but I've noticed over time that the bearing actually slides in and out. You can actually shim them up so they don't move. But I thought while I was at it, I ordered them from these new genuine Traxxas ones from the States. So now they use the same bearing, which is a 20 by 32 by 7mm ball bearing. So yeah, they're pretty hefty. They use a standard bearing on the outside. I've already sprayed this with the old WD-40 spray to soften them up a little bit. But the best one is the fronts. Now the fronts use a massive bearing as well, which is the same. It's the 20 by 32 by 7. The part numbers are 7752X for the rear and 7737X for the fronts. I ordered these from the States, only took like 2.5 weeks to arrive, and I'm in the process of fitting them. So I'll get this all slapped together, and I'll show you a little trick to take a bit of slop out of the bearings. Now while I'm at it, I'll show you one thing though. The best part about this is you don't actually have to do anything to modify the truck itself. You just need the steering knuckle, and it moves its full sweep. As you can see, the steering connection's not on. So yeah, so it's actually a really great idea. Thank you, Traxxas. This, I believe, this comes with the new model released Traxxas X-Maxx. They never said anything about doing these mods or changing these hub carriers, but I think it's a great idea because that tiny little bearing, as you can see, it's really tiny, and it's known to blow out. I mean, these are starting to get crunchy themselves. This is probably the most highly maintained X-Maxx that I've ever seen. It's just had a massive rebuild with the Max 6 put in it. So I'll get this all together and I'll show you. Now, one of the things that I really don't like is slop. So if you look at the standard X-Maxx sort of drive hex, it does actually move in and out. I'll see if I can actually see that little slop there. What I've devised, and this happens front and rear, but I'll only show the rear at this stage. I actually get the Arrma Diff shims, or with Techno, it's the 17mm shims. I get one each for the hub, and I'll show you how I actually install it. Okay, now that I've installed it, so basically I put the shim down there underneath the actual split pin that holds the drive hex in. So now when you look at it, it doesn't move at all, but it's still smooth. So it just stops the lateral movement there. And I've done that to all 4 hubs, and it actually seems to do a really good job of taking out the slop. Now I think with the RPM rear hubs, my bearings the inner bearings started to move around a bit in and out, so they're starting to wear a little bit. I mean, like I said, you can shim them out, and it stops the bearing movement. But I decided that since it was like $50 Australian for all 4 corners of this X-Maxx to get genuine Traxxas parts, I thought I'd go back to standard. I've never actually broken a rear hub, but I have blown bearings out, which is the only reason I went to RPM. So I'm just about to do it on the front there, and when I'm done, she'll be ready to go. Anyway, again, part numbers. Here's 7752X for the rear and 7737X for the fronts. Hope this helps all you X-Maxx drivers out there, and keep bashing. See you later.